Thank you so much to BAFTA. This is an incredible honor.
Even though he was on stage with Oppenheimer director Christopher Nolan, star Cillian Murphy, and producer Emma Thomas, I don't think the gentleman directly over Emma's right shoulder was feeling quite as honored by BAFTA, probably because it had nothing to do with the best film. Yeah, a guy who the BAFTAs chose to only identify as a social media prankster just casually walked up on stage when Oppenheimer was announced as the winner of Best Film. His timing ended up being perfect.
Where are you? Come on, all of you. I'm sorry.
Because he came on stage right as Emma was calling for more of the Oppenheimer cast and crew to join them up at the podium. Now the guy didn't do anything but politely stand there while Emma gave her speech, only at one point tucking in a cord he noticed was hanging out of his pocket. At the end of Emma's speech, you can see Cillian briefly look over at the man he didn't recognize. The show then cut to the wide shot, so I really zoomed in to see if anything else happened. But Cillian just turns back to looking in Emma's direction and applauding. And then he does come back to the mystery man, seemingly saying something, but that's the end of the feed. BAFTA released a statement saying, "A social media prankster was removed by security last night after joining the winners of the final award on stage. We are taking this very seriously and don't wish to grant him any publicity by commenting further." So yeah, they didn't name him. I could do a deep dive and figure out who he is, but I decided to leave it alone. But apparently, this is not the first time the YouTuber has crashed an awards ceremony, having apparently crashed the Brits, the Mobos, and the Ballon d'Or football awards. I mean, I'm usually all over security for being asleep at the job when this happens at concerts, and I know people are blaming security here, but I mean, how is security supposed to stop this? Like, in reality, in order for them to stop this, they would have had to have memorized every single cast and crew member for all 5 of the nominated films. So they would have to instantly know that that guy was not amongst the hundreds of crew and cast members on Oppenheimer. Like, I have no idea who the other white guy is that comes on stage with Emma, Christopher, and Cillian. I'm sure he's probably a producer, and I could research and find out who he is. But yeah, I know Hollywood pretty well, but I didn't instantly recognize him. Look at the faces of Robert Downey Jr. and Emily Blunt. There's no inkling of concern or confusion on their face, just pure happiness. If they aren't able to identify an imposter, how can you expect security to? Now, no award shows already ask the nominees where there's, multiple people nominated for work, who is going to be coming on stage and who's going to be speaking on behalf, because they often say that on air.
I'm just Ken, Barbie!
When that track won Best Song at the Critics' Choice Awards, the voiceover told us that Ryan Gosling would be going on stage to accept the award. He didn't.
Accepting on behalf of I'm Just Ken from Barbie are writers Mark Ronson and Andrew Wyatt, and performer Ryan Gosling.
And then there's been instances where the person walking up to the podium isn't the famous face we were expecting, but they end up having a legitimate reason for going and accepting that award.
Cuff it!
When Viola Davis announced the Beyonce track as the winner of Best R&B Song at the Grammys last year, I thought, and I think many people thought, that a prankster had just come up to accept the award because Beyonce wasn't there.
Y'all know niggas be on CP time. Beyonce, thanks y'all.
I don't think I've ever seen The Dream without his sunglasses on, so I didn't recognize him. And he's not even credited as The Dream as a songwriter on Cuff It. That's a lot for security to put together in a matter of seconds and not tackle him as he makes his way up the stage. So I think if award shows seriously want to stop this kind of prank from happening again, they have to insist that all the nominated works submit one name that is going to go up on stage and accept that award. And then security stands at the bottom of every staircase and has like a flip card which has like a name and a face of like the 5 nominated works and like the person who's going to be accepting for each one of those 5 nominees. That person walks up to them, they look at their cards, make sure they match the face to the name, and then then they can go on stage like a bouncer. Like, that's the only way to make this work. If you're not that face that's on that card, you're not getting up on that stage. I don't care how famous you are, Will Smith. But yeah, what do you think of this prank that happened at the BAFTAs? Should they prevent this from happening again, and how can they prevent this from happening again?